What's up, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of a show I'm doing called Diggin in the Crates. You might say, dang, he's doing all these different shows. You're right, I am doing these different shows, but they all have a different theme. And they all center around music and the arts. But Digging in the Crates is something that I want to have some fun with because I want to talk about albums that maybe didn't blow up, maybe didn't get the fanfare that they deserve, right? But they were great projects nevertheless. So the first one is a group that's near and dear to my heart because I felt like I had this undiscovered gem. And the group is called the Gyrlz. I don't know if you've ever seen this group or heard of this group before. They feature three people. You got Terry Robinson, Monica Payne, and Miss Tara Jeter. Three beautiful girls. They were on Uptown Records. Now, if you know anything about Uptown Records was ran by Andre Harrell, and you had Diddy floating around also at Uptown Records. But what's dope about the Gyrlz is they were around pre-Jodeci and pre-Mary J. They dropped this album January 1st, 1988. And how I discovered them, keep in mind there was no internet back then. The only thing we had to know about new artists, you were either on Video Soul, BET, MTV, and around this time, these type of groups were not on MTV. But this is the beginning of the New Jack Swing era. 1988, you got Guy, who's out, Teddy Riley and his group with Aaron Hall and Damian Hall, Guy. You had Keith Sweat, Mr. I Wanna Make It Last Forever was out. You had I'll Be Sure in Effect Mode was out. Heavy D had dropped his first album, Living Large. When I purchased this albums, it just so happens I was purchasing Heavy D's Big Time album at the same time. So I think I was a little late to the party on the Gyrlz. But my big brother, shout out to my big brother, Damon, always looked up to my big brother. My big brother told me, hey, when you go into the store, if you're looking for albums, see if they got that group, the Gyrlz. I said, okay. So I went, got the Heavy D, and they had the Gyrlz. So I picked it up, brought it back. And to my surprise, I felt like I discovered a gem. And the reason I say that, if you know, you know. There's some people who have never, ever, ever, ever heard of this group. And there's those who know, they know exactly who the Gyrlz are. Don't get it confused. I'm not talking about the good girls. I'm talking about the Gyrlz, spelled Gyrlz. Now, my brother Damon told me, like I said, told me about this group, and I fell in love with them when I heard it. Now, I want to talk about it, how they kind of got into the industry. Tara at the time, Tara and Monica, they met Andre Harrell at a Heavy D concert, needless to say. And the other member of the group, her name is Terry. She was in another group at that time. A few months later, believe it or not, I guess they performed for Andre Harrell. They came together, performed. He liked them, put them all together, and formed this group. And they went on the road with I'll Be Sure as his background singers. Now, while they're on the road and they're working on this album, and before the road, they were also working on this album. I don't want to say they started when they were on the road with I'll Be Sure, but they were working before on this album. And this was a project produced by some heavyweights at the time. You got Kyle West, who's I'll Be Sure's cousin, who produced his first album, which blew up. So he's producing tracks for them on this album. You had Mr. Teddy Riley himself, who produced tracks on this album. I'll Be Sure produced tracks that are on this album. So when we talk about the production quality of this album, I give you those names so that you say, oh, okay, I kind of get an idea of what the album may sound like. Now, once the album was complete and they had some songs to kind of get out there, halfway through that tour that they were on with I'll Be Sure. Now let's talk about who's on this tour. If you've seen the New Edition movie that they made about the group, you'll see them on tour where they about to fight with Bobby Brown, and I'll Be Sure is there as well, right? That's the tour we're talking about, folks. They, halfway through the tour, they got a chance to open up, be the opening act for I'll Be Sure, Bobby Brown, and New Edition. And so for whatever reason, this album didn't blow. And needless to say, nobody really can point the fingers, but I will tell you this much. A lot of the resources, I'll be sure, blew up so fast. A lot of the resources that maybe that they would have utilized to push the album maybe kind of went towards LB, and it kind of helped send his career in a new trajectory, because after the success of his first album, he had to hurry up and start working on his second album. But anyways, I digress. If you could think about if Mary J and Jodeci had a baby or had triplets, this is what that project would sound like. Terry, I know, was instrumental in helping Mary J craft her first album with some of the songwriting, and even did background vocals as well. Terry and Monica, shortly after this album was done, they kind of disbanded, and for whatever reason, I don't know, but Tara left the group, and Terry and Monica resurfaced as Terry and Monica. And you can hear them on the Poetic Justice soundtrack, and they actually dropped an album called Terry and Monica as well. I don't know if Tara or Terry are still active in the industry, but from what I understand, Miss Monica Payne is still, active in the industry. So this album, like I said, to me, is an underground classic. If you know about the Gyrlz, if you've listened to this album, it's called Love Me or Leave Me. For a long time, it wasn't on digital streaming platforms, but guess what? It is now. So you can go and take a listen to it. If you love that New Jack Swing, if you love that 88 and 89, 90s feel, this is a good find. They have some great slow songs on there. They have, like I said, you got songs to dance to, and you also got that New Jack Swing feel. So this is my first episode of Digging in the Crates, and it was with the Gyrlz, Love Me or Leave Me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Also, do me a favor, subscribe, follow, like, comment. If you've heard this album, let me know in the comments. Tell me what was your favorite song on it. Mine was It's Over and Love Stories. Those were two of my favorite songs off this album. And Jam Jam if you can. But anyways, until next time, peace.